It is Chair Shot Reality, the main event segment of the weekend here, coming to you from our new studio here at Point Park University in the Center for Media Innovation. I am Justin LeBar, and I am going to be joined once again. It's becoming just that special treat. It's rainy here in Pittsburgh, and I'm sure he's living the life down there in beautiful, sunny Florida. He is the CSR original with me, Mr. Josh Eisenberg. Josh, how are you?
Justin, behind me is this beautiful lake. I can't be any better right now. I'm not in the middle of a hurricane. I'm not near you. I'm perfect.
That sounds like your perfect life. All right. Well, speaking of perfect and perfection, that is going to be what the girls are going to have to strive for. I'm talking about Charlotte and Sasha Banks. Josh, reality or not, should this match be the final match of the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view?
I think this should be the final main event, the final match at Hell in a Cell. You have Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins. There's not really any drama, any intrigue there. Yeah, you have Chris Jericho doing a great job with what Jericho's been doing in that feud. But Sasha and Charlotte inside Hell in a Cell, first time ever. I think you need to put this at the end. Yes, there's high expectations, Justin. There's always going to be high expectations. And I wrote about it as well as you did. We have some differing opinions on that. But it is a reality. How can it not be a reality when these women have done pretty much everything that's been asked of them? They've delivered every single time. I see Charlotte and Sasha as two of the most consistent workers in WWE right now. Make it different. It's an October pay-per-view. It's not one of the big four or big three or big five, whatever you want to throw in there as the main pay-per-views of the calendar year. This should be a reality check. Would you agree?
Yeah, I'm going to agree. I'm okay with this being the final match, mainly because, Rusev and Roman Reigns, I don't see that having what it needs behind it to be the thing to close the show out. And, Renell and I talked about it earlier this week. Jericho's the bigger story than Rollins and Owens is. So I like this, but I'm just cautious. I'm nervous because I know these girls. We know these girls, how much pride they have, and I worry. I mean, I tense up when I watch them do some of the dives they've been doing.
But they're not your daughters, Justin. They're talented women. They're not your daughters. They're going to be fine. They're going to lay it all out there. Come on.
I'm just saying. I watch what happens when they're not in the Hell in a Cell. So, but I'm looking forward to it, and I hope they do in fact get the spot.
Reality check or not, Justin, the Cruiserweight division featured on WWE Raw. The Cruiserweight division, reality or not, has delivered so far.
I'm going to say it has not. It's not a reality. But it has nothing to do with the effort given by the performers. It has everything to do with the presentation. Mainly, I can't get behind them putting it as late in the show as they are for Monday Night Raw. I'm a little surprised they've rolled out as many different talents as they have so quickly. I think that's also made it tough to try to grasp and get to know what some of these guys are about. I mean, some characters they've done better than others getting to know who they are. I mean, the action's been fantastic to watch bell to bell, but overall, I wish that they would have done this different so far in this first month. What say you?
Well, I think it is a reality, actually. I think they have delivered for a few reasons. You're introducing young, exciting characters that the overall WWE Universe might not be familiar with, while keeping a veteran who I've been a huge fan of for many years, and you know that, in the Brian Kendrick. They're delivering and they're taking it slow. You don't want to throw somebody down our throats so quickly. Look what's happened with many WWE performers over the years that we've seen for a month or two just completely dominate and people don't care for anymore. I think the Cruiserweight division needs two segments, very beginning of Raw, maybe the second or third segment. But yes, you also can use them after 10 o'clock because 90% of people who have seen these talents already were watching them on the WWE Network. And whether you like it or not, the WWE Network is filled more with people like you and me, Justin, watching the Cruiserweight Classic than 9-10-year-olds who aren't familiar with them.
I wonder, Josh, if Vince's placement of these matches, specifically it being the final match last week on Raw before they went to the Goldberg segment, I wonder if he thinks because some of the offense is as high flying as it is, if he's afraid to put it back to back with a Braun Strowman match and it take people out of it. You know what I mean?
I think so too, and obviously they change the ropes and they do the different production, which takes a couple of extra minutes. But I think you have a very great point there. I think it's very possible that WWE could be doing that, and Vince could say, well, I don't want these high flyers in with a guy who can only do 2 or 3 minutes. It's a good point.
Right. All right, Josh, moving away outside of the ring. Well, I guess technically this happened inside of the ring. Paige got engaged to Alberto Del Rio. This is just another headline in a list of a saga of a soap opera going on here. I mean, reality check or not, is this relevant?
No, it's not relevant, and the only reason it's relevant is because marks all over the internet want to hype Paige as their girl, the internet girl, the girl that everybody can get because Paige isn't looking like Charlotte or Dana Brooke or any of these other beautiful, amazing looking women, and she's more of the gothic type that fans can, for whatever reason, connect to. It's not relevant to me. I'm so sick and tired of hearing this. If I wanted to see this, if I wanted to hear this, I'd watch Total Bellas, but I'm not. I don't care about Paige. I don't care about Alberto Del Rio. Why is this relevant in the wrestling world whatsoever? And why do even people that we work for think that this story is so big, so important, needs all this publicity? Oh my God, I need a drink after watching this crap for many weeks. It's terrible.
Well, I will say this. It's unfortunate, but I do think it's relevant on this reason. There is some. I don't know when or how, but at some point we're going to look back at this time in history and Paige's career, and it's going to be attributed to something, because it kind of feels like she's going through like that rebellious phase as a teenager where she's like sneaking out, doing whatever she can to rebel against mom and dad. Yeah. Something's going on here. I mean, and Alberto Del Rio's wife, even her lawyer, even came on and said he's not even divorced. So I mean, there is more to this. I wish her happiness and healthiness, but something's going on here.
And it's nothing to do with them personally, but it's just the fact that every media coverage, whether it's TMZ, whether it's us at WrestleZone, whether it's Upgroove, whatever, is making this bigger than it should be. And it's two people who aren't even really wrestling on a regular basis. It's somebody who, like you said, is griping, is complaining and bitching about that, like an 18-year-old girl just graduating and going to college, and she's dating her 40-year-old boyfriend. Who cares? It happens all the time. Just the fact that they're in the spotlight it's frustrating, because I don't care about either of them personally. I wish they had their privacy. It seems like they want their privacy, but then again, you have Paige putting pictures up when she's in the hospital with her boyfriend next to her in the bed. Give me a break. Ridiculous. But anyway, I don't want to talk more about Paige or Del Rio. Let's talk about something relevant. And a guy who hasn't been relevant in 12 years came back this past Monday. Reality check or not, Justin, Goldberg should have more than one match upon his WWE return.
I'm going to say this is a reality for a couple reasons. First off, he should have more than one match, because this match he's going to have coming back, he's going to lose. I do not see Vince McMahon letting Goldberg come back after 12 years and beat Brock Lesnar, who is their biggest cash cow, next to John Cena, basically. So, so I think Goldberg should have another match beyond that, so that way he can get a win under this return before he goes into the Hall of Fame or whatever he does, and enhances the video game. I also think, as great of a reaction as Goldberg had, he came off very passionate, something that we hadn't seen in a long time from him. I'm weary. I want to see what happens when he gets in the same segment, same ring with Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar, and how the crowd treats him. Especially a Toronto crowd. Those big city crowds tend to be very quote unquote smart and what have you. So I'd like to see him get a chance to work with somebody else where he can be a legitimate babyface, and I'd like to see him work with other people that are fresh matchups. We've seen he and Goldberg before. I'd like to see him work with somebody who's an everyday, every week, full-time performer for WWE, and get some mileage out of that.
Well, yeah, and I agree. I think it's a reality, too. I think you can get maybe 3 matches from Goldberg, but you don't want to do more than that. I mean, you don't want Goldberg this time next year still kind of lingering around. You got to finish him off at WrestleMania 33 in Orlando. You have to put him into the Hall of Fame, and that's obviously the overall plan here. The fact that they're doing it at Survivor Series raises questions for me, why they're doing it at that point in time. Why not hold off Goldberg? And I know the video game release and everything like that. I understand that. I understand the marketing ploys behind it. But you could get more. As much as I like the fact that they're going to be fighting at Survivor Series, you were right when saying they should be in the Alamo Dome in front of 60,000 people. But I don't know who Goldberg should face. That's the problem with me. Does anybody really care to see a Goldberg John Cena or a Goldberg Undertaker? There's no streak there anymore, so it can't be the best streaks in WWE and professional wrestling history. I'm weary, because I don't know if people are going to like Goldberg inside of the ring more than they did this past Monday night. I think he peaked too soon, too good. Yes, it was passionate. I'm just not sure what else you can get from a guy who's 49 years old and has been out of the ring for over a decade.
Well, I'll be curious to hear what Brock Lesnar has to say and Paul Heyman has to say in response to the passionate Goldberg promo. That'll be in Minneapolis. I'll be in Minneapolis this Monday. Please join me from 4:30 to 6 at Kieran's Irish Pub, right near the Target Center. Myself and Mr. Ken Kennedy Anderson will be there. We'll be giving away a pair of tickets.
Oh, you're going to fanboy out, aren't you? You're going to fanboy out for Kennedy, aren't you?
Easy. We'll be giving away a pair of tickets for Raw later that night, courtesy of TicketKing.net. Eisenberg, it's always been fun. We'll follow you on Twitter at Josh Eisenberg 4, and we will see you next week.